Jump right up. Start off with thanking our sponsors. First up is Urban Rides Magazine. You can check them out on urbanridesmagazine.com, or you can check them out at Urban Rides Magazine on Facebook. These guys go all over the country all the time to all the different rallies, taking photos of the best looking motorcycles, women, cars, trucks, anything you could want, man. They've got it in their magazine. They are huge supporters of the Grind Show, and we want to support them back. So go check them out on Facebook at Urban Rides Magazine on Facebook or urbanridesmagazine.com. Next up is our good friends over at Squealing Pigs Audio. That's Mr. Lonnie Revels right here in Baytown, Texas. He is about to kick off his brand new shop here in another month or so, and he is going to be going. And whether you want a little stock speaker replacement, stereo replacement, all the way up to the banging heavyweight stereo competition style bikes, or you just want a custom bike build, he does it all right here in Baytown, Texas. Check him out on Facebook at Squealing Pigs Audio, or you can go straight to Lonnie Rebels' page. Next up is our good friends over at Level Up Audio Towers. Basically, these look like a light plant, except instead of having lights at the top of the tower, they have speakers. They're fully self-contained. They're good for any type of speaking events, or if you just want to party your ass off in a parking lot, man. These things are the thing to have. Check them out on Facebook at Level Up Audio Towers. Next up, our good friends over at Trulers.com or Trulers on Facebook. If you want to lay out a custom paint job, you've got to get you one of their kits. You lay this tape out on a paint job, make all your marks, lay out your tape. It's even. It keeps everything straight and symmetrical. I use them sometimes when I'm doing motorcycle seats to make sure all my stitch lines are straight and stuff like that. You got to check them out at Trulers.com or on Facebook. Trulers on Facebook. Next up is going to be our very own Mr. Earl Hopkins with his Hopkins design. So check it out. All right, there we go. That's all of our sponsors and our advertisers. So what's up, everybody? So I see everybody is in the house. Mr. Uncle Bruno's in here, Mr. Logan Black, Mr. Chris Moos, Earl Hopkins, Dave Potts, Pedro the Engraver. Actually, should be called Pedro the Savage Engraver after some of the posts I've seen him make lately. Miss Marcia Fitzpatrick, Nancy Weems, Lori Boisel, Miss Michelle Rose up in the house, Mr. T.D. Ward's in the house, Michael Joe Murray, Bob Bolognese, and there you go. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. As you all know, just leave a comment in here and push the share button. Diego, what's happening? So I need to get somebody on here tonight. I'm going to have two guests on here tonight. You guys are in for a little bit of a treat tonight. So let me get this first guest up in here. I'm going to send that request. So once it's over there, it is officially sent. Yes, it is. It's officially sent. So our first guest should be here shortly. I'm not going to send the second link to the second guest just yet because I don't want them to overlap each other. What's up, Mr. Patrick Cooper in the house, man? Glad to hear you're feeling better, my friend. You guys need to go over to Patrick Cooper's page. He has a little Cash App thing going up there, looking for some donations to help him out because, as you know, he's self-employed. He's been fighting this COVID like a monster. He was in the hospital for, I want to say, 9 days, but he's back in action, slowly but surely recovering. But anyway, what's up, Mr. Patrick Cooper? And then we've got our good friend, Mr. William Coles, in the house. So we have some big announcements tonight, and I need to wait until my people come on because I want them to give the actual announcements. I do want everybody to know the new official grind booth, canopy, tablecloths, all that stuff has been ordered. It's on its way. I know I waited till the last minute, but man, all you guys know I stay busy, and it got away from me. But it's here. We've got them. They're on their way. We just ordered up 200 lanyards. So you guys be sure to hit me up to get your lanyards. They're $10 a piece to go to the Bike Build Off after party Friday night at Daiquiri Timeout on 23rd down by the Strand. Anyway, let's bring this cat on real quick here, real fast. Everybody knows Mr. Joshua Brooks, but I can't see him. Where he went? He was just here. What happened? Where did he go? All right, we'll back him out for just a second and let him figure out what's going on. Come on, Josh, where you at, brother? But anyway, so we have secured the lanyards. We have secured the VIP party place destination. That is the Daiquiri Timeout. And we've got the new booth being set up. We went ahead and got a whole booth for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday so that we would have a guaranteed spot where we wanted to be. And anyway, I'm going to remove him. He'll come back. Come on, Josh, come back into the show, Josh. But we went ahead and got a booth so that we would have somewhere to set everything up and have it there for the full entire rally. We will be there Wednesday setting up. I'm sure it's going to be me and Uncle Bruno over there setting that booth up, getting it right. But y'all need to look for it. It's going to be on Harborside in front of the Fisherman's Wharf restaurant, but it's actually on Harborside. So look for us. It's a big grind booth. And Josh is back. There we are, buddy.
What's up?
I don't know what happened. What's going on with you?
Yeah, I just showed up to one of my locations, and I think it connected to the Wi-Fi or something inside. So, not sure, but where?
So, here's to you, man.
Here's to you, man.
So, man, go on and drop this damn bomb. It needs to be dropped. Drop it.
I mean, a certain one of my friends with a really big mouth has pretty much already dropped it, but
he's a good friend to have.
So, yeah, he is a good friend to have. A lot of people take him wrong, but he's a good dude. So, well over a year ago, probably longer than that, Louis been after me about opening the shop here in Houston. Everybody knows that I'm a pretty busy guy. I'm in the plane, traveling all over the country all the time, and I got all these locations to look after and this so forth. But Priscilla and I have always been looking for another, well, a third business, fourth business actually. If we want to be real about it. But I've always wanted it to be something that I was passionate about, and I've always been passionate about bikes and so forth. Um, and of course Louis in my ear. Come on, man, you got to do it. Come on, man, you got to do it. Come on, you're missing it. So, um, for me, it had to make sense on a, I don't really would call it a moral side, but on a on a moral side, and it had to make sense financially. Um, and so we thought about it. We talked about it. We thought about it, and me being in working for a publicly traded company for the past 20 years of my life, um, I also understand how important it is to build a really good team, and not just a team of badasses, but a team of people who are better, just as good, if not better than you at what they do. Um, so I started, I had to do my due diligence first and put the feelers out and try to keep it low key as well, without ruffling any feathers. Um, and I was able to assemble, well, I was able to get the first piece and then the second piece. And then those first and second pieces helped us obtain um, just an all-star crew. So everybody already knows it, but I mean, it had to make financial sense to me as well. And then Louis showed me the numbers, and I about passed out. Um, so, you know, again, everybody knows it, but yes, I am the new owner of Lucky 7 Custom Cycles, Houston, Texas.
Woohoo!
There it is.
I'm the janitor of Lucky 7 Custom Cycles, Houston.
Kevin, you are whatever you want to be, my friend. You're the seat builder. You got a corner in the shop. So yeah, we're one of the biggest things to me was finding the right person to be the general manager of the shop, because I'm going to be there a lot, but I'm not going to be there all the time.
Right.
And I wanted somebody who was quality over quantity, somebody who had a good heart, somebody who would drop what they were doing if something happened to go pick up a bike, to go meet somebody, who would just do whatever they had to do to make it work and make it right, always. And I think that's what a lot of the shops these days are missing, is that quality of, doing quality work, not just trying to pump bikes out, making sure everything's right before they leave the shop, not just trying to get them out so they can collect the check. And then when something goes wrong, it's a custom bike. Something's gonna go wrong.
Absolutely.
And when I said morally, that was part of the research that I did. And not to say that I researched Louis, because I know Louis and Chantel, and then I got a chance to meet PJ and Katie and their kids, and Brian and Heather and Johnny and you, and it just everybody. It just all kind of made a perfect storm of sense to me, because it's I mean, what childhood boy's dream isn't it, to have a bike shop? You know what I'm saying? To build motorcycles, but for me, I'm a businessman. I'm a numbers guy. So it had to make financial sense. It had to make moral sense, and I had to have the right team. And once I was able to obtain all of that stuff, and like I said, it started with the general manager. Not everybody knows Michael Joe Murray. He's on here tonight, but when I tell you this dude is A1 solid, the best of the best when it comes to being a person, a father, a family man, and he's a hell of a wrench too. But he's worked in quality control in the plants, and he's been building bikes all of his life and fabricating, and so he knows what to look for. And he was an inspector in the plants too, so he had to make sure that all of everything that he inspected was perfect before it hit production. So that first piece started with him, and I know everybody's been, oh, when's the shop gonna open? When's this? When's that? But I hope he doesn't mind. But for 7 weeks, he fought a really, really bad battle with COVID, and actually lost twice. He coded twice, and they were able to get him back. stubborn bastard ripped his tracheotomy out and all
I
kinds
don't
of
need
stuff.
no breathing.
So I wasn't doing anything without him, to be honest, because I needed him. He is just one of those world class people you want to be around, and you want to be on your team. When the shit hits the fan. So um, we're excited, man. We're ready to get going. Building's coming along. The team is assembled. We brought Greg Phillips on as our sales manager. He's going to handle the sales aspect. Him and Michael are going to team up together. And Greg's going to be the lead on the sales manager, the sales side. I cannot release the other names to you right now.
Yeah, that's right, baby. That's right.
How do we, out of respect for their current employers, and so they continue to get a check until they, yeah, the H Town takeover is real, baby. We got an all-star cast.
I will say this: if the people that I have heard in my ear, because I've never heard anything like, "Hey, this guy's doing this guy," but if the rumors I've heard are true, there's a
Yeah,
lot of talent. But the cool thing about the people that I've heard about is they're all Indians. They'll all work like Indians, but every one of them is a chief. You know,
100%.
they step in, they pick up, they'll handle what they need to handle, and they don't
100%.
and they don't pass the buck if something's not right. So it's like your brother's keeper. So if somebody does something that's not right, they're like, no, 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 you got to redo that. And I know
You
that
know,
about these guys, but
oh
like I
yeah,
said, I
for
don't know
sure.
if it's true if it's these guys. But if it is these
Well,
guys, it's a good team.
I can tell you this much. One, two, at least two of them that I know of have owned shops before, and good ones at that. Really good ones. Um, and everybody's going, well, why aren't they still in business? Well, one of them had to relocate because their spouse, um, yeah, they had to relocate. I need to stop talking.
You need
Yes,
to stop talking
um,
because now you're getting me
he's
excited.
he's a badass, and when Louis told me he was interested, I jumped all over that as fast as possible, and I was just head over heels to find out that he was interested in joining our team, and it's going to be good. I've got to give a shout out to a few of the shops in Houston. Lee with Dirty's Custom Cycles. Um, there's some good shops in Houston. Lee, Eric Contreras from Powerhouse, fucking unreal bikes. Um, Lonnie, Squealing Pigs Audio. There's a few good shops, but there's uh, even Alan Jones with Audio Hogs. Um, they're up and coming, and they got stuff going over there. But one of my biggest things was the reason I started Banger Audio Sound Series was to um, increase the
Presence.
increase our footprint as a biker community in baggers and audio and slingshots and this, that, and the other. Because most of that stuff was East Coast, you know, and so that's why we started Banger Audio Sound Series, because there was really nothing for anybody to go to. Of course, since then, Martin and the guys at Syntax, of course, Badass Bikes, popping Cam up, and they've been doing it for a while. They do a different format, but there was nothing really like the East Coast here, so that's why we started that. And one thing I realized really really quickly um, is that I had a ton of respect for Eric Contreras and the Powerhouse crew, because those guys, when they show up,
They
they
show
show
up.
up deep.
Yes.
I mean, you're looking at 10 to 20 bikes every time they go somewhere,
Oh yeah.
and they're all badass. So I was really, hold on, my valet guys tell me to pull up. Good. Um, so I was really intrigued by that, and that was something I didn't see with any of the other shops. Um, and that's going to be something that we push hard. We want the Lucky Seven crew to hit the town hit Galveston, hit Dallas, hit wherever we go, and we want to go in numbers. Um, Not for any other reason than we're going to put out the best bikes there are to put out, the best quality with the best sound. And, we ride our bikes. Lucky Seven's not known for building a bunch of bikes that just hop in a trailer and go somewhere. We ride our motorcycles, but
That's
we will
right.
also pull up in a parking lot and wax that ass too. So, um, we're super excited, and we want to be deep, and we want to put out the best quality we can. We're coming. It's just taking a little bit longer. Again, Michael fought a really hard battle for 7 weeks with COVID, and I wasn't even starting to plan anything until he was out. So we're excited, man. Super, super excited. And I know who your next guest is, by the way. And I have a funny story about your next guest. I posted it on Facebook the other day. I was coming to Dallas to pick up the new truck that had just got wrapped, hauling ass. I had 2 jet skis behind me. Was bringing another truck up to the lake house up there in Burleson, hauling ass down 35, and I hear this, Rah! And I look out my rearview mirror, and here comes Chris Moos on that bike. Rah! Just blew right past me, like I was fucking standing still, and I was doing 80.
That dude,
I took a picture of it and posted it. It was pretty cool.
yeah, he's a monster. That dude's
You
so
know,
cool. But
people like him are it's what this industry needs. Chris Moose. There's a but PJ. There's a lot of real bike builders, man. Like, all the guys that are in the build off. Logan. You know, everybody. I mean, we need to get that back, and that's one thing I'm really excited about. One of our main technicians, builders, he's a craftsman. When we started talking about certain stuff, he was like, "Man, fuck them bolt-on neck kids." First word out of his mouth, "Fuck them bolt-on neck." I said, "Hey, man, if you want to do it, do it." And I started looking at some of his bikes, and I was like, "Holy shit, I cannot believe this guy's on our team."
you just got to make sure you got that insurance policy. I'll tell you that.
Come on, man.
I know you do.
I've been in big time business for 20 years. But man, we're excited. We're super excited. Uh, we're super excited to hang out. We're looking at. I was gonna try to have something done and ready and open by mid-November, but it's probably going to be December 1st ish. Like I said, Michael being in the hospital pushed us back just a little bit. For obviously it was bad for him, but I think it was good that we waited. He just had a baby too, so um, he actually had his wife had their baby the day after he got out of the hospital. So
Wow.
yeah, so it was a really really joyous time for them as a family, and especially us and everybody who knows him. I was on pins and needles for a long time, so but we're happy. He actually got up to the shop up in Dallas the other day and got to hang out with PJ and Johnny and see that. By the way, shout out to those guys. Holy shit. Those 2 motherfuckers are pumping out some bikes up there. Travis too.
Yeah, but did you
And
see
that
what they did? Did you see what
the
they
shop
did?
is clean. Yes.
They
You can eat off that floor, man.
I went up to Milwaukee and came back with a whole new. No. We got to redo this shop. Everybody saw
Man.
Milwaukee and went home and cleaned it. Went straight to work cleaning shops.
Well, I can, mentioning Milwaukee, and that's another thing. Um, I was really, I'm friends with Lawrence. I haven't met Mike yet out in Florida, but I had a whole different outlook, and I know you've heard this a bunch of times. I had a whole different outlook on things after we came back from Minnesota. Just seeing Louis' family and the people that were around him, and you saw a different side of him, and he's a family man. He's a businessman. But not to say I was doing research on him. He's been a friend for a long time, but I just everything just kind of came after we came back from Minnesota. It all just kind of came together, and the right pieces fell into place. And like I said, I've always wanted to own a bike shop, not just for the sake of saying, "Hey, I own a bike shop," but to really help transform this industry and get it back to where it was. There's a lot of bolt-on bike shops out there. There's not a lot of actual bike shops who do good quality work, and and have actual craftsmen and builders working in our shops.
Yeah.
So we're excited. We're very, very excited about that. So again, we're shooting for December 1st. I'm gonna try to hold it to that right just in time for winter builds and all that stuff. So, oh, my wife said, my wife just commented, "What's happening with Banger?" So, about that, obviously, uh, it's going to be a conflict of interest. Um, so, I would like to uh, formally announce that Banger has been sold to the person who probably deserved it the most, and that's Lee Landau with Dirty's Custom Cycles. Now, I know it's kind of a catch when you're saying, hold on a second, you said it was a conflict of interest for you. How is it a conflict of interest for him? Lee's a pig during the day, right?
Very nice.
Lee's a,
With a straight face.
Lee's a cop during the day. And so, he doesn't pump out a lot of bikes. He's just one or two bikes here or there. He's grown the business. Hell, I tried to get Lee to come with me. But he's been building that business for a long time. So Lee has bought Banger Audio Sound Series, which will take effect January 1st. No, Lori, I am not carrying on the rule of Louie. No. Two different peas in a pod there, buddy. That's not happening. But yeah, Lee's going to take over Banger January 1st, which is going to be super cool. I'm always going to be there to answer the phone for him, and help him. And Priscilla will always help with anything he needs help with. They've always him and Angela have always helped us. And Banger's my baby, man. That's we worked long and hard on that one, and put up with a lot of stuff. So it's kind of tough, but I plan on our team going back and mopping the fuck up in every class eventually. There's going to be a new standard when it comes to audio in the Houston area. Not to say other people don't do a decent job, but we want to win it all everywhere we go. So Lee's going to do a great job, and I'm happy for him to be able to do that. It's something he's put a lot of time and effort into, and it only seemed right for him to take that over. So Lee Landau is the new owner of Banger Audio Sound Series.
Hell yeah.
But and then one of the most important parts of our team, Kevin Sockwell, making all of our seats, doing whatever he wants to do in the shop.
I cannot wait.
Wrench on some bikes.
I cannot wait.
Put out some custom pieces. I'm not going to say anything.
No, we ain't saying shit about that right now. But I'm going to tell everybody right now, if this man lets me do some of the shit I want to do in that shop, Lucky 7 Houston is going to have their own line of specific parts. And I can't tell anybody what they are yet, but I'm already working on them.
Stacy just said your son is awake and isn't going to bed.
Yeah, no, I posted that on the screen so everyone could see it. It happened. But no, the whole deal is this, is that getting a shop where you get bikes in and out and talking to customers and having the opportunity to discuss parts of builds that don't always get discussed,
right,
is something I've wanted to do for a long, long time. And like I said, man, I'm a janitor there. I'm going to start out just sweeping the floors, cleaning the toilets, and doing some seats. But I would like to work into being able to do some custom metal work, making a custom line of parts, and waiting for Lucky 7 Fort Worth to say, oh, shit, what the hell? That's what I'm waiting on right there. We didn't know.
Listen, I may own this shop here. Louis may own the one up there. Lawrence may own the one in Milwaukee, and Mike in Florida. We may all own our own shops, but as far as I'm concerned, we're one big family, and
amen.
And what flies here flies there, and we're going to do it right. And they've set a good standard, and we hope to keep up to that, if not surpass it. And that's the goal, right? And the end of the day is to keep getting better, keep innovating, keep moving forward in this industry, and changing. Are the baggers, are the big wheel baggers with the stereos and shit always going to be the whatever? No, it's going to change again, just like it changed from the the street racers to the bobbers to the choppers, back to the bobbers, then to the baggers, and it's going to change. But just like anything else, just like bell bottoms, it's all going to come back eventually, you know. And um, you got to be the best at what you do, and we're as the team going to expect that out of ourselves, um, you know. But one of the main things I really wanted to accomplish is, you know, I want to be central. We're going to be central in Houston. We're not going to be northeast, southwest. We're going to be central. Um, and I want it to be a destination shop. I want people to be able to come in, plop down on the couch, look up at the video screens, watch their bikes being built, crack open a beer, you know, have some good bike nights. Um, it's going to be a destination. I want it to be a destination and a hangout for everybody, you know, because at the end of the day, other than the products you put out, word of mouth is everything. You know, hey, meet me over at Lucky Seven. Let's go have a beer and see what they're doing over there. You know, of course, I'm not going to be able to let anybody in the shop, um, you know, for insurance purposes, but it's going to be a good time. Um, we want to make it a destination. We want to make it a big family. We want to roll deep when we go out. We want to put out good quality stuff, and yeah, we're excited, man. Super, super excited. I know everybody's known. Sorry, I couldn't come on and say anything beforehand. But we're strippers at that. Bruno, I mean, I might put a stripper pole in there. Shit might get a little crazy every once in a while. Who knows? I don't know where I'm gonna find. I don't know where I'm gonna find strippers at, but you know.
Dude, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. Well, cool, brother. Well, we're gonna now that the cat's out of the bag, man, your truck
Yeah.
looks freaking awesome. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see the new apparel. I can't wait to see the location and all the
Yeah.
new signage and all the cool stuff that's going to be going on. And before anything ever happens, thank you for letting me participate my little bit. And I
Sure, man.
really hope, and I know it will, but I hope this team does exactly what they do
Oh,
already
of
do.
course.
But
Oh, they
together,
will.
I hope they just
It's gonna be a force. It's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure. We're excited.
absolutely. Well, cool. Well, all right, my brother. Well, thanks for the input and thanks for letting everybody finally know what's going on.
Yep,
But
for sure.
I think you need to go to work now, don't you?
I mean, probably. But you know, whatever.
Whatever.
I'm always working. I'm always working. So, good deal. Well, get Chris on here. I want to see what he has to say.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, watch because Chris has got some really good information to bring up, and I'm really, really excited to hear what he's got to say. So
Sweet.
yeah, keep watching.
I'm on. I'm already watching. See, I got
Cool,
the
bud.
iPad in here.
Right on, man.
So, we're good. Talk to you soon.
All right, my man. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Hell yes. I don't know what you guys think, but man, that is freaking awesome. Let's get my good friend, Mr. Chris Moos, on here now. And this is going to be really, really good. So, anyway, congratulations, Josh Brooks. It's awesome that you're going to be opening up Lucky 7 Custom Cycles Houston. It's going to be a good time. I'm glad I'm going to be a part of it, even just a little degree I am. And we're going to do some cool stuff there. We got some big shoes to fill with those guys in Fort Worth and in Milwaukee. So we got to make our things happen. And, you know, Florida, we got 3 other shops that have set the bar pretty damn high. So I'm looking forward to this. Where's my buddy Chris Moos at? I can't wait to get this one going on. Josh, so does. He's at the other end. No, he's not. Where's he at? There he is. Everybody say hello to Mr. Chris Moos.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, man, I like that bike in the background, dude.
This one?
Yeah.
Turn your volume down some. Sorry, I got external volume over here. I'm trying to get rid of it. Yep. So that's my pleasure interceptor.
The Pleasure Interceptor.
That is a 2002 FLHPI, which the I stands for injected, but in my instance, I was like police interceptor. It's the pleasure interceptor.
The pleasure interceptor. Right on.
What's going on with you? Good looking?
Dude, to be honest with you, man, I'm so excited. Lucky Seven's coming to Houston. I can't wait to see you in Galveston. And dude, I'm waiting for this party to happen. This group of builders, the judges, all of your stories. I mean, shit, every time we're together, we get to hang out for 5 minutes, and then you're busy or I'm busy, so we don't ever get to hang. I'm looking forward to doing that.
5 minutes. That's all we ever get.
Mm-hmm.
It's shitty.
It is.
Oh, man.
Probably because they know what would happen if we got all night. We'd tear some shit up and make some memories.
I don't know. We probably need to get a bunch of bail money together. Cheers, fucker.
Cheers, brother. So, man, you said you had some cool stuff going on. I'm excited. What do we got going on?
Man, I do have some cool stuff going on. So for anybody that hasn't been following me on social media lately, number one, go fuck yourself. Number two, this bike is the reason why, part of the reason why. So 20 years ago, we had a bunch of assholes fly fucking planes into an amazing city in our country and decide to kill thousands of fucking people. And if you're not familiar with it, again, unfollow, go fuck yourself. Number two, sorry to be so firm about that, but here's the thing, is that it affected me so incredibly much. I was there 19 and a half years ago. I was in New York. I stayed on Church Street. I walked down Church Street through the financial district directly to the 9/11 or to the World Trade Center. And I stood and stared at a hole in the ground for 10 hours the first day I was there. Wow. 10 hours. I stood in an area the size of a order counter for a fast food restaurant. And I didn't move within that space, but for 10 hours. It's devastating, man. It really affected me in a big way. And my daughter's name is Brooklyn Belair, number one, because I'm a car guy. Two, well, number one, because of New York. Number two, because I'm a car guy. And because our other daughter's name is London, and so it makes good phonetical sense. They don't know who we're yelling at when we yell their names, so they both say what, and they obey. But I had an amazing opportunity to be there 19 and a half years ago, experience the city of New York, and immerse myself in the culture and have a greater appreciation for the devastation that occurred on 9/11, September 2001. The thing is that we had my father and I stumbled into motorcycling for me. I stumbled into motorcycling 2013, 2012. It happened. It's a huge part of my life. I'm grateful to be here. I love every single person that I've ever interacted with, minus maybe one or two. And I could even still appreciate them as human beings. My father had a friend who passed away. His name was Mike Joyce. And Lori, his widow, had contacted my dad and I about purchasing possibly the two motorcycles she had. And she told me, oh, one's an old Indian. It's like really old. And then we got this other cop bike. It's like a bagger. And I said, okay, send me pictures. So I get pictures. Well, it's not an Indian. It's a 60 panhead with a 70 shovel upper. And then there's this bike, which didn't look anything like this when I started. Well, I mean, it did. It was black and white, whatever. And so we go and I find out that the panhead's been given to his best friend that he grew up with. I didn't know that he lived in Niagara at the time. We'll get into that later. And then we ended up with this bike. My dad wanted to buy a motorcycle because he wanted to ride with me. I was in the motorcycle industry. He wanted to be a part of me. He wanted to hang out, the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the whatever it was that connected us. And I really appreciated that. My dad not having enough physical stability to manage an 800-pound plus bike. It sat here for 2 years. Time crept on. I realized the 20th anniversary was coming. I personally wanted to make a trip to the 9/11 memorial. It meant a lot to me. I hadn't been back to New York since 2002. I was there 6 months, like I said, after this happened. And I decided that I was going to make a personal journey to the 9/11 memorial so that I could pay honor and respect to every person that had ever fought in the conflict, lost their life, responded to the collapse, communities affected, regardless of what it was, because I just have a huge heart for that whole situation. I remember the day that it happened, my number one thought when I saw the first building come down was, my God, all those kids that are in school that will never see their parents come home. Like, as a parent, that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most painful and frustrating thing to have to witness and think of at the same time. So having that affected me the way that it did, I knew that I wanted to make this journey for myself, and I had the opportunity to do so. I worked real hard. I put in some extra time, made some good money, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take this trip. And you're familiar. I'm not somebody who likes to just do something and if I'm going to do it, I'm going to find a way to benefit other people. It's just like when I cut my hair. For all of you that don't know, my hair used to all be down to here, my beard and everything. And I was like, I'm cutting my fucking hair one day, and then raised $4,000 in a week and got my hair cut and gave it all to charity just because. But, I like to do that. What's that?
I watched you do that.
It was so stupid. My daughter cried. She's never seen me with short hair.
My dad.
So,
oh my God, I got a dad in there.
So I, with this trip, I haven't done anything in a while, industry related that's been real heavy. I feel like I'm just kind of floating in the background a little bit, I've got some things coming, guys. I've been playing strategy heavy, and you'll see my strategy unfold over the next couple of years in a major, sick fucking way. And I'm really excited for what that means. It's not a quick process, but it's something that I'm doing in order to create heritage and culture and longevity. And I think it's very important because just like, we just previously spoke, I think it's really important that we find a way to get back to where we used to be. Maybe not with the same styles and the same parts and all that other stuff. There was this incredible culture that we had for a number of years that I think we can continue to grow and build upon. And I want to see that reestablished because financially, that means really good things for a lot of us, not just for the business owners, but for the enthusiasts and the industry that supports us and the events and all those other things. It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So, and I appreciate you for doing what you're doing, because without you, we wouldn't have this to be a platform to speak on. It wouldn't be something that we could attend and we could be a part of that I think we all can continue to build upon. That's going to be something amazing for years to come. And thank you for that.
My pleasure.
So with this trip, knowing all the people that I know, I decided to take it upon myself to contact all my friends in the industry and say, hey, kind of doing this thing and it sounds really cool. I'm going to ride my motorcycle everywhere and give away a bunch of shit. Oh yeah. What are you giving away? I don't know. What do you got to give? But it wasn't necessarily that conversation. A lot of it was more like, hey, I'm on this trip and I'm going to come see you, because that's one of the things I really enjoy doing is I love seeing my friends. I love connecting with them physically. I like to interact with them and be a part of their community and be a part of their life. And I know that it is way more valuable to ask of somebody and be in their presence and shake their hand and be a part of their ether and say, I'm a part of you. I want you to be a part of me and what I'm doing in order to get back. And I created this thing where my bike on the Fork, this bike on the Fork was just a frame and an engine and tranny that were somewhere else. And then I put the whole thing together by the 9th, and I just got done riding it from basically the long short of it is I rode from here to the 9/11 Memorial, and I was there on the 11th hour, on the minute. And I got to experience that space for the first time in over 19 years. And when I walked on the property, the first step I took on the property, the air was sucked out of my lungs. And just like being underwater and not knowing how to drown yourself by swallowing water, I couldn't breathe. I literally tried my hardest to inhale, and in my head was telling myself all of the conscionable things like breathe, and I just couldn't do it. And then finally I calmed down and I began to breathe, and I walked on the property, and I had a number of friends like Josh Reeves and just a number of veterans in the industry that I know and people that are surrounded me that asked me to put my hands physically on the memorial for them because they couldn't make the trip and they'd never been there. And so the moment I walked on to the property and walked up to the first memorial and put my hands on it, I could not physically lift my hand off the memorial. I was so incredibly connected to it.
Yeah, I
It
get
just,
that.
it hit me so hard, dude. And to see all the other people's emotions and everybody talk, and to see they're experiencing the same thing, and like to actually acknowledge people that were there to see their loved ones, or that's the only place they could see a loved one, because there's no gravesite. There's a name on a plaque on a piece of corten steel that surrounds a giant hole in the ground. And I knew that was going to be something I witnessed getting there. And before I left to do this trip, and for months before, I communicated to a bunch of sponsors in regards to this trip, and I said, man, I want to do something to get back to my community, and I want to show people who are afraid to travel the United States, people that are locked up in their house, locked up in their business, going from shop to home, or work, whatever, work to home, and that they're afraid to get out because they think COVID's going to kill them or whatever it is. And I mean, yes, it's killing people, don't get me wrong, but so is the flu, and so is like gold spray paint and fucking saccharin, whatever. I want people to know that they can get out and live their lives. I want people to know that they can go experience the world. I want people to not be afraid to go out and see the United States and all the amazing things that we have to do. And so I created this journey so that I could like kind of quickly display some of the cool little highlights that I had on my trip, to visit some friends and to see some key spaces and to experience some neat shit. But part of that journey is undocumented, mileage wise, for intention. I know what it is, it doesn't matter. But the rest of it is documented. And so my journey from Maine all the way to California, all the way to Austin and home, is the journey that you need to pay attention to. I have a post that's on my page, and literally, if you look, it says giveaway details, and there's a picture of this bike, and it's blue sky, and there's not a whole lot going on. It's literally a video click through of what you can do to do this. So before I tell you what you need to do, let me tell you what you're going to get, because that's what this is about. Like, I've decided I want to get back. All my friends that own these companies decided they were willing to get back. So to start, part of this journey was inspired and gifted so gratefully by Tommy Donnelly of House of Harley Davidson in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He is giving $1,000 gift card to one of the recipients of the giveaways that we're giving. You can use it online. All the gift cards for everybody we have, you can use it online. Everything will be drop ship. It doesn't matter. You don't have to physically go into a location or anything like that. But Tommy's stepfather died 2 years ago of cancer related to the ash fallout of 9/11. He was stationed in Far Rockaway, Queens. His firehouse responded. He survived. He was able to experience an amazing life. The gentleman was a key feature in the firehouse, and a lot of people respect him in a lot of ways. And so I was very fortunate to go spend time on the 12th and the 13th doing interviews with the firehouse. I got to eat dinner with the firehouse on the 12th. I got to sit in the mess hall while they cook homemade spaghetti and meatballs and sausage and salad, and eat with all the guys in the firehouse. And it's something you just can't beg to experience. I'm blessed to have experienced it, and I think it's an amazing thing. So Tommy provided me that access. That was something that I was really keyed into. There's a short documentary that I'll be producing that has to do with my experience at the firehouse at some point, and my journey to the 9/11 memorial. Another part of this journey is a documentary, multi-segmented, that has to do about all the individual stories of the people that I've ran across and incurred across the way, which are some very unique and interesting people, as well as just the overall scope of the whole trip. But to key in a little bit about the giveaways, guys, for all of you that are watching and paying attention, and I may miss some of these, and I'm sorry, but there's like every one of my posts has every single giveaway item on it. So if I miss one, I'm sorry. But to start off, House of Harley Davidson is giving away $1,000 gift card. They're redeemable online. We have a $250 gift card to Dream Rides Tennessee, thanks to John Jessup. We have a $100 gift card to USA Parts Co., which is Ricky Bongo's company out of Las Vegas. We have a set of wheels from Jade Affiliated. So up to an 18 in the rear and up to a 21 in the front. And you guys know how much wheels cost. And I don't care if we're just talking about 21s and 18s. Like, that's a 2118 bike with Olings in the rear, Race Tech front. I just put some major miles on this bike, and I love the shit out of it. So it's an awesome coast-to-coast rider, and it's seen coast-to-coast twice in the last 18 days. It's a great giveaway. I mean, you're literally going to buy a hat and a shirt and guess my mileage. It's $55 for a fucking set of wheels. So we also have a set of invaders from Lead Sled. For you guys that know Choppers and know Pat from Lead Sled, he's going to give away a set of invaders to somebody who guesses closely to my mileage as well. Rad flags. It is more like a motorcycle distress type system. You got flags you hang off your handlebars. He's giving away a hat, a shirt, a hoodie, a rad flag set. Nick at Forever Two Wheels Maine is giving away a full grab bag of swag. Talk to Natalie Kleiner for all you that know her. Natalie's an amazing human being. She used to design for Troy Lee Designs. For all you guys that know who Troy Lee is, Natalie has developed a bunch of their product. She has a visor that goes with the Moto 3 Bell Reverb helmet. Bell, Brett Conley, has gracefully given us the Moto 3 in white and black, in stock, all sizes. That's why we picked it. That way we don't have to wait on anything. So we have a white and black Moto 3 Reverb with a visor and a full swag grab bag from her. Guys over at Evil Iron Customs, Don Ogilvie and I'm forgetting his name. Holy shit. Mike Campbell. He's going to be real pissed off at me now. So anyway, he wasn't there to greet me, so fuck him. Anyway. Sorry, Mike. I love you. He was too busy doing sheetrock. Anyway, so the thing is, the guys over at Evil Iron, they're amazing, man. And for all you that know, Don suffered recently, his house being burned down. That guy is still the most giving, most kind, considerate human being that you'll come across with misfortune, is willing to provide fortune for anybody. So I love that man. He's an amazing human being. My team over at Thundermax. So all of you guys running performance motorcycles, anything that's got modified motors, Thundermax has you covered. They have an ECM for your bike that allows you to preset some of the features into your tuning capability and then allow it to auto tune so that you can tune your motorcycle. For all of you that don't have access to a dyno, this is a great platform to start off of. They're giving away a $300 gift card, which is a little start into buying an ECM, and they have a ton of freaking swag. So there's a ton of stuff for you guys to buy from them. As well as on the performance side, if you guys are familiar with performance at all, you know who Horsepower Inc. is. Horsepower Inc., Jimmy Light and Laura Light have graced us with a throttle body and air cleaner combo. That is a huge snag when it comes to freaking building some motor. So you guys are able to buy a hat and shirt in this, with this contest and get a throttle body and air cleaner combo. So, I mean, that's a slam dunk how I look at it. Like wheels, throttle body, air cleaner. I mean, what the hell couldn't go wrong? Let me see what else we got. A friend of mine here in town, actually, Benjamin Jones. He owns Southern Adrenaline Official. They do a bunch of GP type racing, track days, that kind of stuff. He has a comm system, custom molded earplug set that is sound canceling for your ear that they are giving away. It's over $300 value. That's part of one of the giveaways as well. Guys, I know I'm forgetting some people, probably some really important people, probably some really close friends of mine that are like, dude, you didn't mention me. But either way, go to my Instagram, moos.craft. That's MOOS.craft. That's my Instagram. If you want to go to it, you go to my website, which is the link, up there in the bio, like where it says my name and like how big my feet are and what color my face is, whatever. Anyway,
go grab that for me real quick so we can post it.
Yeah, if you could you grab my website link and then hit that for me and then add as a link. So on my website, you scroll down, there's a link that says go to TT Vet merch page. You click on that, you buy any of their shirts, and on that page it'll say add a Mooscraft combo. That means you're buying a hat and a shirt for about $55, and you guess my mileage. Now, here's the thing. You're going to have to we didn't put it on the page yet. I was going to put the total mileage point A to point B, and I can't remember what the point A to point B mileage is at the moment. But either way, over 5,000, less than 6,000, we'll just go there and make this real easy. And I'm a squirrel like a son of a bitch, so I'm just going to let you know that I didn't go from point A to point B in any sense of the fucking world. But there's a place right above where you check out, at the very end where you check out, where you can add an order note. You click on it. Look for it. If you want to fucking win, look for it. Oh, I can't find it. Well, tough shit. Look for it, and you click on one little button, and you put in my mileage. So you buy a hat and a shirt. I don't care if you follow us. That's one of our requirements on their page. We changed that. I don't give a shit. Just buy a hat and a shirt and support the nonprofit. And let me tell you why, guys. So a lot of people are like, well, why do I want to buy a hat and shirt from some freaking nonprofit I don't even know about? Well, number one, it's our veteran community. Number two, this is what we do. We take people to events across the nation. We provide them with financial access to get to these events. And then while they're there, because of people like myself and the people that I know, we provide them with amazing experiences at the events. So it's not like a layman showing up and they don't have any access to this event and they don't know who to go see or what to do. Instead, we provide them with all the kick-ass shit that they could ever possibly do. By doing that, we break down the barriers of communication that allow them to speak to us and tell us what kind of services they need back home. Whether it's mental health, physical health, starting their own business, fixing their taxes, shopping for broccoli without killing somebody, whatever the hell it is. We do that with them so that we can find out what they need, and then we get them back home and we provide resources with our national affiliates for free to them. We get them to the events for free. We provide them lodging and food and camaraderie and all the shit that they need. And then we provide that resource back home for free. Because we want to see them reintegrated back into their community, their business, their family, and more importantly, their own mind.
Yeah.
And we utilize this thing that we all have called motorcycles in order to create a common bond to do it. So TT Vet stands for Throttle Therapy for Vets. And we do this in order to create this amazing space where we can all be in the right headspace in order to create a gift back to them. The people that create the freedoms and liberties that all of you motherfuckers that are watching this right now have. To be on your phone right now or your computer or sitting at home. I get to be here in my shop whenever I want, to do whatever I want, because the people that serve our country and sacrifice their life for the freedoms and liberties to do what we do. And like literally like just walked into my shop right now, veteran friend of mine. But it's because I believe so highly in our veteran community that I will give 18 days of my life on a motorcycle to ride around the country and take a bunch of pictures and be like, woo, look at this cool shit. Hey, here's free stuff. Like, I mean, I'd be a shithead not to give back. Exactly. You know, and that's why I do it. And I love each and every one of them that have given what they've given in order to allow me to be able to do what I do. And I'll continue to do it until the day I die.
Well, I'm going to figure out how to go to your website, copy, paste all that stuff, and get them over there. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Oh, there it is. Right there. It's right now.
Let me cliff notes my journey so everybody can understand it. You can kind of sift back through my social media, and if you follow me on Instagram, that's pretty much where all of it is. I share it over to Facebook. It gets kind of muddied up, but so I got the bike together. I rode from Texas into Tennessee. Saw my guys over at Thundermax, Jake and Millhouse. Ended up headed over to John Lefever's place, hung out at his place. He's got a house that's like 1908, 1913 built or something, which is the same era and year as the firehouse I spent time in while I was in New York. Left there, John's place, went straight to New York from John's place. I had only slept 7 hours and 4 days by the time I had gotten to New York.
Wow.
Now, mind you, a day and a half of that was here at the shop working. And then got to New York. Man, it was great. Got to experience everything. About 4 o'clock in the morning when there was no traffic on Sunday, I decided to ride around New York really fast and run a bunch of stoplights and shit because there ain't nobody. I didn't see any cars. I had a cop pull me over after running down Times Square area. Fuck, dude, I was doing like 80 miles an hour all the way down it. Ran every fucking stoplight. I'm all the way at the end, and for some reason I stop, and this cop pulls up, and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "Enjoying the city with no cars, sir." It was a red light. And he goes, "Don't do that shit when I'm around." I said, "Well, fuck, don't come out anymore." And the light turned green. I took off.
Really?
So I left there and went and visited my buddy. Can't see or hear you, Josh Brooks says.
Where?
I don't know. You can hear me, can't you?
I hear you fine.
Okay, we're good. So anyway, went up and saw my buddy Dave Perowitz up there in Halifax after I left New York. And then when I got done there, I went over and met a gentleman by my same name. His name is Chris Moos. I'm friends with about 6 of those guys, and they're all on Facebook, and we all know each other, and they're all craftsmen in their own right. This guy is a master carpenter, furniture builder, and a computer engineer. He's a super smart fella. We departed. I ended up hanging out with one of my American Infidel buddies through a club that I'm familiar with. I'm not affiliated with any clubs, but it's a club that supports me on my journey, and was able to stay with a handful of those guys. Veteran Base Club. Stayed with Joe. He gave me a feather, which is still in my bike. At the trade center, some pregnant chick took a picture on my bike, and everybody said, "Oh, it's a blessing." I'm like, whatever. I made it the whole trip. The bike didn't fall apart, so I'll take it. Left there, went up to see Nick Bollier, or however you say his name, at Forever Tools, Maine. Nick and I have done a bunch of work together, hang out with him for a day and a half, 2 days. Left there and went to Niagara immediately following his place, and met the widow of the man that used to own this motorcycle. Well, riding through town, remember I said the first bike was given away to her dead husband's best friend. Well, I didn't know he lived in Niagara. And I crossed paths with this bike. Now, mind you, like I said, it's a 60 pan with a 70 upper, kind of hard to miss, has the wrong, like the headlight shroud, that tree shroud behind the headlight isn't there, wrong headlight, wrong handlebars. I've seen the bike before. I saw it and I was like, that's the bike. So I'm like, pull over. And he's like, no. And I'm on a cop bike. So then I hit the siren. Whoop, whoop. And he's like, shit. Pulls over. And I look right at him. And I was like, hey, that's Tim's bike, isn't it? And he goes, it's my bike, man. What do you mean? So how do you know Tim? I was like, I know Lori. And this is Lori's other dead husband's bike, Mike. That's Tim's bike. You got time to go over to Lori's house? And he goes, because I'm like 5 minutes from her house. And he goes, no, man, I got to go over to Lori's house to meet some guy. Oh, shit, I'm supposed to meet you. Like, the dude was hammered fucking drunk, dude. That's why I didn't pull over. He was, like, out of it. So we go over there. We pull up on her two deceased husband's bikes at the same time. Both cop bikes, by the way. And she just, like, there were more tears coming out of her face than the water that came over Niagara Falls, dude. It was it was an amazing experience. I left there later that evening and made the journey to Columbus. Went and saw Dawn that next morning over at Evil Iron. Left there, went over to Pat's at Lead Sleds in Dayton, Ohio. Left there, went over to Friday night at Horsepower Inc. Bike Night. Saw that shit show. And if you guys have never been to Horsepower Inc. Bike Night and you're kind of close, you should fucking quit screwing around and just go. Because it's pretty awesome, man. Like, the whole street shut down. They got vendors. They got food. They got alcohol. They got all kinds of shit. You come hang out. It's a good time. Hung out with Millhouse from Thundermax. He was getting his motor built up there at the time. Sea Bear and freaking all those dudes had to haul ass and go to Indian Larry Block Party the next day from Indianapolis. I left there and went up to, I had to bypass Chicago because I was trying to meet Tommy in Milwaukee at a certain time. It just didn't work out, but I got there a little bit late. We were hoping to do the museum tour and stuff, but I'll catch it another time. Went and saw Tommy, hung out there, left there, went down to Kansas City, Missouri, and saw my oldest daughter for a little bit, and then left and went to Colorado Springs to go to Horseshoe Bend, Grand Canyon, because I was like, I'm going to go take a picture of Horseshoe Bend because I can. And so on the way between Kansas City and Horseshoe Bend, I run out of gas. Now, I ran out of gas a bunch on this trip, but I always rolled into a gas station. At this time, I rolled into 9.5 miles away in a valley away from a town. And this freaking tow truck company in town says, yeah, so it's $50 for 2 gallons of gas, $65 service call, and $20 a mile, 9.5 miles times 2. They were like $285, $250 or some shit. And I was like, yeah, suck a dick. And I hung up the phone. So I sat there for a couple hours and I was creating content and editing footage and all that shit on the side of the road. So when I'm doing that and I'm like a tripod set up behind the motorcycle on the highway, nobody's stopping to help me. And then this lady in Jeep pulls up. Forget her name in a minute. Her name may be Lori too. She pulls up and she's like, do you need any help? And I was like, yeah, I need some gas. I was like, let me give you some money. Could you get me a gas can and some gas? She goes, well, I need a gas can for my Jeep. I'll just go get you the gas. And she doesn't take my money and she takes off. She comes back, gives me the gas. I fill it up. State trooper pulls up behind me. And as soon as he pulls up behind me, I'm like, dude, could you turn your lights on? Can I take a picture like you're pulling me over? And he's like, no. Like, but I got a cop bike. That'd be really funny. He's like, no. Okay, whatever. No humor with this guy. And I'm really concerned because he like stands over me while I'm pouring my own gas. It's really weird. And we get done. He's blocking to make sure we don't get hit. It's just doing his job. And then I asked her, I was like, well, how much do I owe you for the gas? And she goes, well, you said you're going to Colorado Springs, right? And I said, yeah. She says, well, that's where I live. I was like, uh-huh. Can I give you some money? And she goes, well, sounds like you're buying drinks tonight. We're like 9 hours. 9 hours from her place. And mind you, she's 20-something years my senior. Beautiful, amazing lady. But I'm sitting there thinking, okay, buying this old lady drinks. And yeah. So I get to town. She's already ready to go to bed. Turns out she's a senior officer. She's an MP and active duty. And she had to have knee surgery the next morning, so she needed to go to bed early. But she sat there for an hour and a half and told me all about her Sturgis trips. And she's got a Sportster converted into a trike with like a Road King clip-on street glide fairing, whatever. She loves her bike. It's beautiful to her, and in a lot of ways to a lot of other people. I appreciate it because she's so enthusiastic about it. She started it up. It's loud as shit. I'm sure her neighbors were mad because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and she's got train horns on it, and she blares them and shit. Dude, she just loved it, man. There's no way she went to bed for another couple hours after this. She was so on fire. So I left there, and I went to Horseshoe Bend, which is an amazing ride. If I could ever recommend a bucket list trip, get to Colorado Springs, enjoy Colorado, hang out for a couple of days, enjoy the area, it's beautiful, and then ride your ass to Horseshoe Bend to Page, Arizona from Colorado Springs. It is the most amazing trip I think I have ever experienced on the road. There's more to experience, but I mean, this was a beautiful one for me. The geography was amazing, the mountains, the view, it was all beautiful. Went from there to Zion National Park, which is also incredibly amazing. I'm going back to Page, Arizona for the Horseshoe Bend next year for a vacation because I just decided it's too beautiful. I cannot go back. It's got Antelope Canyon, which is like the whole carved canyons, sandstone and shit. That's like real beautiful. You've seen it in a bunch of pictures on Instagram. Just look it up on Instagram, Antelope Canyon. You'll be like, oh yeah, me too. And then went to Zion, traveled through that. Really cool freaking place. I recommend it. Top 10, like just go to it type places. Left there, went and saw Sean over at TOL in Vegas. Stayed with him for the night. Changed my oil for the second time on the trip, by the way, which there's a lot of the trip that's not documented for the giveaway, guys. So second time I changed my oil was at Sean's in Vegas. Left there, went to Los Angeles to finish some trim on the bar that I was doing for the bike shed in Los Angeles. Left there and went south to like not quite San Diego, like Fallbrook area, Southern California, to meet Moto Megadeth. Megan, amazing human being. she is giving away a knife and a sheath. That's one of the giveaways I didn't announce. So she's giving away a knife and a sheath. It's USA on it. It's handmade leather sheath. Beautiful piece of work. She prides herself highly in her craftsmanship. I think it's awesome. Thank you, Megan, so very much for contributing. Chased her through the canyons for a day. Went to go eat and drink around town. And yeah, don't ever try to chase her around the hills because she's a hooligan racer and she'll try to fucking kill you. Like it's
Really?
like she's got an older Softail that looks really dope and has a bald front 21-inch tire with a spoke on it. And it was raining and we're doing like 95 and 100 fucking miles an hour around the mountains in California. And I was about a quarter to 3/8 of a mile behind her at all times, as hard as I could try to keep up. I mean, 103 compared to my 88 was the distance. That and just not knowing the fucking roads and being scared as shit. I was like, I'm gonna slide off the hill in this fucking water. And she just like fucking like bouncing her frame off the fucking ground and shit.
Damn.
Lunatic. So left there and rode from Southern California all the way to Austin.
Just one felt.
I stopped for 4 hours in Tucson when it rained so hard I couldn't see where I was going. But I rode from Southern California all the way to Austin and took my final pick. I was doing a bunch of sunrise, sunset picks on this trip. And the reason why I was going to the Austin area is because my buddy Mark at Texas Performance Motorcycles had, which I'm going to interject real quick, Lexan Moto. So your comm systems, Lexan Moto is giving away a G16 single pack also. Mark at Lexan is amazing. I broke my G4 on the trip and he mailed me to Indianapolis parts to fix my freaking, my communication system. So Mark's an amazing human. I appreciate his input as well. But Mark at Texas Performance Motorcycles, that's why I was able to remember Mark at Lexan. Mark gave me the PA, the amplifier, and the siren for the bike that I have. All the wiring was still in the bike, so I didn't have to worry about rewiring it or anything like that. So it was awesome. Got down there for a sunset pick on Park Road 4. There's a beautiful overlook that looks over this area in town. I was kind of destined to be at that location. It was my point to be there for sunset. When I left California, my goal was get to that location, take that picture. And I got there and I set up to do my own pictures. The second location, I put my bike so that the sunset could get a little light on the exhaust and that side of the bike and shit. There was, when I first went down that road, there was a handicap van in front of me. And I'm like, it's a really badass road to ride, guys. And I'm like, man, I really want to haul ass down this road. This motherfucker turns down this road and floors it. He's doing like 75 miles an hour down this road. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Fucking haul ass. And there's a couple parts on this road where it goes like down, 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 and then sweeps back up. Like you're shitting yourself. If you're doing 75, 80 miles an hour and you come up to these hills, when you're riding over them, you're like, where is it? You don't even know where the fucking bottom is. And then finally you see it. And by the time you see it, it's too late because you're just like in it and back out. So he's hauling ass, but there's this really cool crest in the road at one point where I could see the sunset both in the sky both ways. So I stop, block the road, take a picture. So he disappears. I get to the lookout point. I'm paying attention to nobody. I'm looking for vantage point, sky, light, all that shit. I want this photo. I pull up. No fucks given. Don't care who's trying to take a photo anywhere or see the sky or the fucking skyline. I'm just like, I'm putting my shit in the way and I'm taking pictures. Well, it turns out that he had already set up the guy from the handicap van and he's taken astral photography. So he's set up to shoot the Milky Way. And he happens the second position I put my bike into to catch my bike in like the bottom left-hand corner, like perfect. And he's like, man, are you going to leave your bike there for a minute? I was like, yeah. He's like, takes a photo, like 30-second exposure. He's like, cool. I got to wait another hour and a half and I'm going to shoot the Galaxy and then I'm going to do a composite and I'll put your bike and the Galaxy in it. I was like, really? So I paid him for a photo of my bike with the fucking Milky Way behind it. And it's the last day of the trip. Kind of. But it was amazing. So I left there, went north, went to Buc-ee's, fell asleep by like the check stop. So I was like, okay, fuck this. Slept in the parking lot of the check stop, woke up, had kolaches, haul ass home. Everybody's hitting me up about work. I had 5 business meetings to hit up in fucking Dallas before I could even get home. And then did a podcast with Jace and was not done and home until like 2:30 in the morning on the last day of my trip. And then the next day, a ton of shit to try to recover from. And my body was just wanting to sleep so hard. I slept like 12 hours straight without even waking up to any alarms. Because I've been on the road for 18 days, just going non-stop adrenaline rush. And had to go over to Danger Dan's to do a podcast last night with him. And then went to work today, got a bunch of shit knocked out, started quoting a bunch of jobs, getting things going. And here I am with you, man. Just like I said, trying to get back to all of you guys because I know every one of you fuckers wants some cheap, free shit. So, like, literally go click on the fucking link and get you a hat and a shirt so you have tangible shit. It's not like a raffle where you like, I may win something. It's like, no, you're going to get something. Guess my mileage. I'm saying point A to point B is between 5,000 and 6,000. Guess whatever you want. And I'm a fucking squirrel. I love to see beautiful shit. I love to escape and see things that, you know, appease me. There were a couple times where I stopped and saw, or I was turning and saw something that I wanted to take a picture of. I had to do like a 10-mile loop to get back to it so I could take a photo of it. But I did it because I realized that if I didn't use my gut feeling to stop and take those pictures, I wouldn't have got some of the amazing shots that I got on this trip. And I was doing that to show each and every one of you that there's amazing things in our own country. Like people that are afraid, like, oh, I can't, fucking COVID, I'm going to get vaccinated so I can go to Australia and all these places, which none of us are ever going to Australia again. But anyway, the United States got a lot of shit to offer, man. And there is beautiful places to see, and you shouldn't be afraid to go out there and do them.
So in the 18 days, you hauled ass. I mean, you were busy, right?
I didn't spend a lot of time at one location. The most time I spent in one location was at Nick's at Forever Tools, Maine, because it was pouring down rain for like a day and a half.
So if you could redo the whole entire trip over, how many days would you prefer to do it in?
Well, originally I had scheduled to do this in like 30-something days.
Yeah.
But I didn't have my bike together. The job in Los Angeles took too long, and I spent 5 weeks on a job that was supposed to take 2 weeks, but we had a bunch of COVID interference and change orders and stuff, so that didn't work out. But I had intended actually on going through Tennessee and going through the tail of the dragon and stopping at Dream Rides John and doing interviews with his guys. He's got a couple veterans, but I'm going to see them at V2 Visionary Tour, so I'll be able to have the interview with them. And then I was hoping to go to Olean's because I've got Olean's on the bike. I wanted to stop at the facility and tour the facility and do video over there. They were going to do an apparel giveaway, which I didn't hit them up back again because I did stop by their facility. I was going to go to Washington, D.C. I wanted to go to Arlington National Monument, the Arlington Cemetery. I wanted to go there. I wanted to go see the Vietnam Wall. I wanted to go see the Lincoln Monument. I wanted to go see all that shit. I wanted to spend more time in Boston, seeing some friends up there. But what this turned into, I would do it in 30 days because I'd love to stop and experience the places instead of just stop, see them, take pictures, look, picture, look, picture, video, go. Because that's all I did. It was just like nonstop.
What's I'm saying, if you could do the whole trip and you think you could have enough time, how much time do you think would be enough?
35 days.
35 days.
Yeah, that's kind of where I landed it. So what we're going to do, this turned into something, and I knew that it would because it was kind of like, it's not a proving ground. It's just kind of like trying to figure out what I really want to do when it comes to giving back and it being my thing, because there's a lot of things that I do that are other people's things that I do to give back. And with a little bit of input from Tommy from Milwaukee, we talked about it briefly. It's not set in stone, but we're considering doing they have the hometown event where everybody goes to Milwaukee and spends time up there for the anniversary of Harley Davidson. So we're considering that being the landing event that everybody attends, and then we journey from there over to the 9/11 Memorial every year. We raise money for first responder community, and we find a way to utilize it to give back. How we give it back and what we do to give it back, what that means isn't established. This is really just very infantile conversation. but we're looking at making it an annual thing where everybody can join. Talking about riding from Milwaukee through the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I mean, it's a beautiful fucking time of year to do that, man. And it's an amazing ride. So I didn't get to go to the UP when I was there because I came down to Columbus and then Dayton and up to, Indy and then up to Milwaukee. So I missed that loop. But I think it'd be a really great thing for people to experience. And the ones that can make that journey, it's great. Otherwise, we'll find ways to have people sponsor riders or sponsor firehouses along the way. So whether we find a way to get like gift bags or something substantial to like put in the firehouses and the PDs along the way, not all of them will be touched, but this will be a multi-year event. Look at that.
It never happened.
I know.
So I could give that right there.
Yep. But I mean, I think it's an opportunity to create a conversation that will establish something that has heritage and longevity. And so this is something where my initial trip was by myself, on my own dollar. I didn't have money. I had money forced down my throat by one person. One person gave me $100 and told me that if I didn't pick it up off the table, that somebody else was going to walk away with it. And so I took it. But I spent my own money, my own time, at my own expense to do this trip because I believe in our community. I believe in motorcycling. I believe in our veterans and our first responders. And I want to get back. And that's it. So
you need to get us involved next year.
I would love to. And I mean, I want to. Next year, we're going to do something where we've got like a 3-month build up to it marketing wise and some shit going on. I got plans for the bike, like how that's going to look. I mean, this bike, for everybody who wants to know. So this is 2002 Police Road King. I got a Royalty Racing pipe on it. I got 3-inch over forks with gold valve, Racetech gold valve emulators in the front. It's set up a little soft because I wanted to be able to cruise highway miles more than anything, not a bunch of canyon carving. So I bottom out the suspension a lot on this bike. Clockwork short 16.5-inch windshield. I got Arlen Ness method risers, grips, pegs. I've got the half moon boards on there that my buddy Adam Garley gave me. Original hockey puck bags. My buddy over at Crush at Metroplex Customs hooked me up with all the powder coat on this bike. My buddy at Ford at Infab painted the gas tank. I'll show you that. So that's got the Twin Towers in it, Sheriff's Badge, Pentagon, Arlen Ness air cleaner, Arlen Ness pegs. It's just a stock 88 with the freaking 5-speed Saddleman seat. Holdings in the rear. The license plate, guys, I don't know if you can see that. Says Twin Towers.
Right on.
So the hashtag for this is Twin Towers, 2NTWRS Tour, Twin Towers Tour. Nobody's ever used that hashtag, so that's my hashtag. These are stickers, so I'm going to be doing a t-shirt with this that's a pre-release, and everybody's going to get stickers along with it as well. I'm going to send a personalized note to every single person that purchased one, and 30% of the revenue generated from all the sales of that are going to be utilized to go back to TT Vet. And, some people are like, 30%? I'm like, well, yeah, how do you think I'm going to buy more fucking shirts so I can sell them to you so I can continue to raise money for them? Dummies. Anyway, so simple ass bike, but the intentions for it moving forward, build it out as a 111. Like, there's nothing fancy on this bike. The hardware doesn't match. It's got milled out brake mounts. I got Behringer front brakes, rotors, and Behringer rotor in the rear with the stock caliper in the rear because the radial brake mount didn't work in the rear, and I had to modify the fronts with radial brakes in the front. I mean, just a bunch of hodgepodge shit, but it's fun. Chinese light ring doesn't really fit. I mean, it's like a shit show. But man, it sure did make a whole lot of fucking miles with that shit show.
I'm telling you.
We're going to do 6-speed cartridge. Of course, all 12-point hardware. I'm going to Cerakote the whole fucking motor because I like it. Along with the 111, I'll still keep the Thundermax on. I'm going to do a long pipe. So instead of the short 2-into-1, I'm going to do a 2-into-1 full length. I love the hockey pucks. Don't get me wrong. But the problem with hockey pucks when you're doing this is that you scratch the shit out of your paint. And I plan on doing gold leaf like all the way around the tank and all the way across the top of the bag, and then painting graphics on the top of the bag. And so I'm gonna do the 14 up bags. I'm still gonna put the bag protectors on it. I'm gonna do a 6-gallon tank. So I'm gonna keep this tank, put it on a shelf, and it's never going anywhere. I'm gonna do a new tank next year. When I do the bags lids next year, I'm gonna put all the sponsors on top of the bag lids. And when we're done with the trip, we're gonna raffle the bag lids off. And I'm going to make a custom display with it on like vintage wood and present it to somebody to hang in their shop or their house, to where they can buy the sponsorship list of people on those bag lids every year. I'm going to do that every single year. And every year I'm going to take the tank off and I'm going to put it on the shelf. I'm going to paint a new gas tank every single year. And that way I personally have a linear heritage of the work that I'm doing in order to create this attention for the veteran and first responder community represented in these gas tanks around my shop. And I hope that I'm an old motherfucker and I got 50 or 60 fucking gas tanks someday.
Hell yeah.
I do.
That would be awesome. That would
So
be awesome. Well, what you're doing is a kick-ass idea. It's really good. I'm proud of you for doing it and having the forethought to do something like that. A lot of people wouldn't. She's saying something like,
I'd be selfish if I didn't, man.
well,
You know,
I'd
tell you what, I appreciate somebody like you that's doing things to create attention for our industry and trying to keep the hype up in the industry, and you know, like trying to drive something within the industry, because there's not a lot of people that are trying to bring people together. I mean, there are, but there's not a lot of people that are so hyper focused on bringing people together, creating something, and giving back the same way, just like what you're doing, man. You're literally taking everybody's money they give you and then giving it back. So that's a very unselfish thing, because you could very easily say, "Hey, fuckers, it's $2,500. I'm gonna give y'all $1,000 each of that back. I'm gonna build me a motorcycle." But you're not doing that, man, and that's fucking kick ass, man. So I respect you and I appreciate you for that.
I got into arguments with almost all of the builders, and they said, "What, you should keep at least 10%." And I was like, "No, man, that dilutes the prize. It dilutes it."
This is the biggest cash giveaway prize of any event in modern history.
Well, it's going to be real
for one of the classes anyway.
Yeah, well, that's okay, because next year I think the other class is going to be the big one.
I think the other class is going to step fuck up. Yeah. Not only that, but I think that we're going to see some title sponsors come on board that want to put some monetary value into what's happening.
That would be awesome.
I think it's going to happen. I'm going to try to see if I can't make that possible too.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see what you're doing grow, man, because I think it's amazing. I appreciate it so much.
Well, guys like you inspire me. I mean, it's just, you want to just do more.
I don't, and I mean, if I inspire you, thank you. But I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to fucking be an equal to each one of you and show you that it's just this fucking easy to give back.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's not my mic. It's Chris's mic that's doing it.
What is my microphone doing?
It's cracking real bad when I talk.
Oh, sorry.
But it's okay. It's no big deal. And everybody gives me a hard time.
Well, you're technically on speaker, and I'm on a browser instead of on Facebook or something. So
yeah.
And not only that, but my phone just did this across the United States on a phone mount for like, you know, a bunch of miles.
A bunch of miles.
I traveled across the United States twice in fucking 18 days.
Wow.
I mean, Texas to New York to Maine to Wisconsin to Kansas to LA to Austin to Dallas.
Jesus Christ.
In 18 days. And I mean, my average speed was about 85, 90 miles an hour the whole time.
Holy shit.
I had one day where I was trying to iron butt when I left California and I was trying to come to Texas, but that 4 hours of rain fucked me hard, man. Couldn't do it. I took a lot of pictures on this trip, and there were no two pictures 24 hours apart that were 1,000 miles apart ever.
Really?
The best I got was 918 miles in one day, in one 24-hour period. which is crazy because I had like a 785 mile, 14-hour day. I'm like, how did I not do fucking 1,000 miles in 24 hours?
Oh shit.
I know. I'm a little upset by that.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do the math in my head.
Trust me, man. Just go try to ride 1,000 miles. It's a pain in the ass.
That's why they call it the iron butt.
I got a real flat butt right now. I need to get in the gym, start doing leg workouts or something.
So, well, yeah, that core. Do a core workout. You'll be good.
I lost some weight on this trip. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like that thing that used to wrap around you and shake you.
Yeah.
Motorcycle did it for you.
Well, and I just didn't eat a lot, and I didn't drink for the first half of my trip, so that helped a lot. But there's just something about you meet up with a bunch of friends and you see them, and everybody wants to have a drink with you. Eventually, you just have a drink.
Yeah, it's much easier than you all
I
think.
mean, for the first like 10 days, I think I didn't have a drink. No, I take that back. I had a beer. I had a beer in New York. Oh, speaking of New York, one of the shittiest things that happened to me on this whole trip, other than almost getting my handlebars twisted by a semi-truck, vaccine passports in New York happened the second day I was at the firehouse. So the first day, I ate with a friend of mine, and then I went to the firehouse, and then ate again at the firehouse. Well, we didn't have to wear masks. We didn't have to have passports, any of that shit. And I go in the next morning after I recorded a bunch of footage with them, and I walked in because I just wanted to eat the IHOP coffee, sit down, some eggs, bullshit, go through a bunch of footage, create a video, publish it, whatever. I walk in. Most people aren't wearing masks. Same as the day before. She goes, one? I said, yep. She goes, do you have your passport? In my head, instant smartass. I was like, nope, but I got my driver's license. And then it hit me. I was like, fuck, that's today. And so I freaking said, no, I don't have my passport. And she says, we got a drink assistant here in the shop. Vodka. Anyway, she says, can you read? Yes, ma'am, I can read. She goes, no, can you read? It's like, oh, yes, I can. Is there something you need help reading? Because I can read quite well. She goes, yeah, you could start with the door. I said, what on the door is it that you would like me to read? She goes, that sign right there that says you need a vaccine passport in order to read or in order to eat in this establishment. And I said, no, ma'am. I said, see, the thing is, I don't have a vaccine passport. I have a driver's license because I'm from the state of Texas, where we don't let old white men govern us and tell us what the hell we're going to do and where we can eat. Which, I mean, mind you, everybody that governs us are old white men and they tell us what to fucking do. Whatever. I was being a smartass. Mind you, this is a 65-year-old black woman that said this to me, and I was so hurt when she started to say this next thing to me because my mother grew up in the middle of all that shit when it was going down in the 60s. This woman said to me, she says, sir, we don't serve your kind here. You need to leave. And I said, excuse me? Politely. Not asshole. I said politely. I said, excuse me? And she goes, you are not welcome here, and we do not serve your kind, and you need to leave.
Wow.
And it hurt me to my core, man, because of how people are being manipulated right now. And I looked at her and I said, ma'am, I said, a woman of your beauty, stature, age, and education should never have used those words towards another human being for as long as you could ever live. Because I'm sure that you've lived through a period in your time where you've heard those words before and you wish them never to be spoken to anybody you know either. I said, it's a disgrace to know that you are using those words in order to enforce a mandate that they are calling a law that means nothing. Because Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart don't require vaccine passports, and there's hundreds of people in them. There's 30 people in this restaurant. And you're telling me I got to have a vaccine passport to rub elbows with you at my own table, but I can go to Home Depot across the street and rub elbows and touch the same credit card machine and get the same soda out of the same soda machine? I said, that's messed up. And she goes, if you don't have a vaccine passport, you need to get your ass out of here right now because you are not welcome and your kind doesn't get served here. And I said, and you can take your kind and continue to be a slave for an old white man that runs laws and does all kinds of dumb shit to tell you what you can do with your fucking lives. I said, that is just fucking sad. So these 3 dudes stood up in a restaurant and started walking at me at the speed of light. And I was really pissed off. Now, mind you, I'm on a cop bike. And I forgot that I hadn't put on deodorant or sunblock because I was riding in a t-shirt. So I walk out of the restaurant and these dudes are charging me like they're ready to beat me up. And I'm tearing my shirt off because I need to put sunblock on. So I look like I'm ready to fight. And these guys are thinking, oh, it's fucking on. This motherfucker's taking his shirt off. And I could hear him ready to go. And then I walk up to the bike and my buddy Brandon gave me like his pepper gas gun. It's a bright orange looking Glock with like rubber bullets in it and pepper gas. Because I personally can't carry a gun because of felonious reasons. And the sunblock happens to be in the same piece of my luggage roll. So like I'm pulling the sunblock out and my deodorant out and the gun falls on the ground. There's a cop bike. I got my shirt off and these 3 dudes walk out and one of them goes, man, I think he's a cop. And then the gun hits the ground. The dudes go, fuck that shit. I think he's a cop. And they all go right back into the fucking restaurant. And I'm like, sunblock, put my shirt on. Oh, the gun. And I like pick it up and stuff it back in my bag, zip it up and fucking haul ass. It was very disturbing, man. I tell you what, it just really crushes me to my soul to know that we are being governed the way we are. So again, like I reiterate, part of my trip experience had to do with showing people that it's really a free country, man. You can go out and do whatever the fuck you want. Just go do it. And when somebody tells you that you're not welcome here and your kind isn't served here, go eat somewhere else.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it, man. It was hurtful.
I can't believe that lady said that to you.
I feel bad for her that she said that to me. Because she's being made to feel that she needs to say that kind of thing to people. And you know what? I really meant what I said to her when I told her that I didn't feel like a woman with her experience, age, beauty, intelligence, all that shit. Like she should never wish to say those words to anybody and never hear it herself.
Wow.
That was sad. That's the most hurtful part of my trip.
Damn.
I mean, aside to like the 9/11 memorial, but I mean, like that was hurtful, personally.
I feel you. Holy
yeah.
God.
Not because I felt like I was done some kind of injustice. I just hurt for her.
Yeah.
Like that's where my pain was. That's a bad place to be. So fuck the sad story. How about the cool shit? Everybody, get your fucking bikes built. Put in your videos. Let's get it done, bitches. Because we know a bunch of you, including myself, haven't put your videos in. You all get the fucking messages every week. So why can't you just get off your asses and do it? I mean, I'm making excuses. But let's do it. I think I'll put it this way. I'm going to put it on blast that if you haven't put your video in by the middle of fucking next week, just forfeit the competition. Just leave. Just quit.
Just like
fucking pussies. If you can build a bike but you can't do a video, go fuck yourself.
I was wishing Louie and Brian all of them were still watching, but they're all gone right now. But Earl, the guy that's doing the documentary, is like, yes.
Yeah, and I'm on this browser, so I can't even see comments right now. So anyway, man, I love you, dude. I appreciate you so much. I'm done. I got to go off. I need to get out of here too. But thank you so much for having me on. And you guys, again, get on the website, click on the TT Vets webpage, buy a shirt and hat, buy a Moose Craft combo. Somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 miles is at point A to point B. Guess a fucking mileage. Get a hat and shirt, and maybe win some cool shit.
Oh yeah. Well, Uncle Bruno's got all the links in there in the comments.
I appreciate Bruno. He's on top of it, man.
And we're gonna hopefully make some shit happen.
No, I appreciate you so much.
Right on, brother. We'll go have a great night, man, and I'm gonna call it a night.
All right, dude. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. Have a great night.
Seeing you soon, dude.
Right on, my man.
Later.
All right, dudes. So longest show in history that we've ever done. It's an hour and 45-minute show, but it was well worth it. Y'all be sure to go over and check out the links in the comments. Go check out Chris's Instagram page, look in his bio, and go over to his website and order a hat and a shirt, $55. The money's going to go to a good cause. Plus, you're going to be entered in. You can click another little link and guess how much mileage he did, somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 miles. Guess a number, and you could win some other cool, amazing shit. But anyway, thank you, everybody, all of y'all that have stuck around for the whole entire show. We will see you guys next Thursday. Follow Lucky7 Houston on Instagram and Facebook. But anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great night. Later.